session. Hi everyone, very good morning.
Morning, Shahid.
Hope you all can hear me. Very good morning. So shall we start our session? Are you able to access system?
Yes.
Okay, good. In our last session, we discussed about what is SAP S4hana, versions of SAP S4hana, and we also discussed about how SAP HANA database is developed, main functionalities of SAP HANA, and this is what the journey of SAP HANA. Then we also discuss about what is SAP Fiori and SAP Fiori versions. And then we discuss about the installation of SAP Fiori for S4hana, components required for installing SAP Fiori for S4hana. And we discuss about the deployment of SAP Gateway. We have embedded deployment for SAP Gateway where Fiori is available on the same machine where your business application available. And you can also maintain a separate front-end server. And this is called central hub deployment of SAP Gateway if you are maintaining a separate server, separate front-end server. Components of Fiori. And then we started configuration for SAP Fiori and S4hana. So the first activity we perform is establishing RFC communication, and we establish trusted RFC between front-end server and SAP S4hana. That is the first activity we have to perform. And then the next activity we have to perform in front-end server is activating SAP Gateway services. Let's access the system. Fiori client is 500. So we can use SPRO to activate SAP Gateway, or we can also use the direct transaction code. By default, the gateway is inactive. Okay. By default, the gateway is inactive. You have to activate the gateway. And here, the gateway is already activated because we have activated gateway for other clients, and it is a task client component. Got it. If you activate gateway in one client, it will also be available for other clients. So the current status of the gateway is active. Do you want to deactivate? No. This is the second configuration step. And then the third one we have is maintain system alias. An SAP system alias is indeed as a, yeah, please.
Yeah, Shahid, the activation of gateway, is it happening in Fiori system or ECC?
It is in Fiori system, front-end system.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So almost all the activities for configurations are done in front-end server, and there are few activities which we also need to perform in the back-end system that I'll also show you. Okay. Okay. Maintain system alias. An SAP system alias is indeed as a as the logical name of a system connection. That is, you specify where the SAP system alias should point to depending on the SAP gateway content scenario and your system landscape. You thus set up the system alias. So what we need to do is we have to define the system alias. And based on this system alias, the connection is established, and now the activities between two systems are performing using this particular system alias. And for defining system alias, we have a transaction code SPRO, SAP reference IMG, SAP NetWeaver, and then UI technologies, SAP Fiori initial setup, SAP Fiori initial setup, and then connection settings. Define system alias, and you can also activate SAP gateway services from this node activity under this connection settings node, and which is what define system alias. Okay. So these are the default system aliases defined by the system itself. And now, okay. So we need to define the system alias for local system, and by default we have the local system alias. This is the local system. It means the same system where we logged in, local system, and then we also need to define the backend system alias. New entries. So you can provide any name for system alias. I'm defining it as S4hana. Okay. Description S4hana backend system, and then the RFC destination. So coming to the RFC destination, we already established the communication between two systems, and let's see what is our RFC destination. Just hold for a moment. Need to check what exactly the RFC destination we have from this system, because there are a number of RFC destinations we define. We have other clients too, so we can get the description here. Just need to find the RFC destination from client 500, right? Any idea what RFC destination we defined in our last session? Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
Okay. Yeah. Can you? I understand that you're showing steps, step by step, what to do and where to go. But
Mhm.
can you also, beside that, explain? Like we see a lot of whole list here. So all of these are RFC destinations, and if they are, how do we know that we should go to a particular destination to set up?
Yeah, coming to this is what it's a sandbox system. So what we are doing is we have number of participants and they are creating their own client for all these configurations and customizing. So we have a number of RFC destinations. Got my point.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
generally don't maintain these many RFC connections from one system to another system. We don't maintain these many clients for communicating, just as it is a sandbox system. So everyone is creating their own client and then performing configuration steps. That's the reason we have got these many RFC connections. Correct. Okay.
Okay. The other question I have is there are many different ways to set up S4hana, right? So is that what kind of setup is this? Is this S4hana on BI or on ECC? Or?
No, it is S4hana 1809. The version for S4hana is 1809. So what is ECC? Uh, Coming to ECC, S4hana is the replacement for ECC. The last version of the SAP ECC is SAP ECC HP8, and after that you have S4hana 1511, then S4hana 1610, 1710, and now we have 1810. Got it. S4hana is the replacement for SAP ECC application. Okay.
Okay.
So now S4hana is nothing but an ECC system. Okay.
Okay.
So this is, yeah, please.
You have used an SPRO Fiori, but not UI5. Any specific reason UI5 we are ignoring?
SPRO?
And from defining this settings, you are using the SPRO and then Fiori tab. But we have a UI5 also. So any specific reason for not using UI5?
So you can also use, you have 2 or 3 ways. You have 2 or 3. For example, activating gateway, you can also activate gateway from SAP NetWeaver main node, and you can also activate gateway from UI5 node. So depends on the requirement, you can do that. When it comes to even RFC communication, there are a number of ways to define the RFC communication. You can also do it using SPRO, you can use SN59 transaction code, or you can also use sale transaction code. Not a specific reason. You have the sequence for Fiori communication, and you can also activate or you can also define the system aliases from other nodes too.
Okay.
Got
Okay,
it.
fine.
Okay. Okay. So our coming to RFC destination is S4HBS100. This is the RFC destination. Okay. And coming to the software version, we have to use the software version as default. Okay. Software version has to be default for system alias, backend system alias. Okay. And then we have to provide the SID of the backend system. And coming to the SID of our backend system is NID and the client is 100. Okay. Let's say it asks you to create a TR. I'm just creating a TR now. TR theory 500. Okay. It is now successfully saved. The system alias for the backend system is successfully saved. Okay. And now we also have to create one more system alias for approval process. So when there is an approval process, so there should be a separate system alias which I'm going to create now. Workflow process. Okay. So coming to the RX destination, the same RX destination we are going to maintain now. This is the one, right? Just for it, PS100. Okay. And here we need to use the software version IWPGW Business Workflow Provider. When you enable workflow process for the backend applications or for the backend roles, so that will be processed using this system alias. Got it. For HTTP Fusion system launch code, we need one system alias pointing to front system with the uh, indicator local gateway selected. We already have local. And if you use approval in front-end system, you need an additional system alias for task processing within workflow used in this front-end server, which we have to create. And coming to the backend, we are going to maintain two system aliases. One is for request processing and one is for workflow processing. So request processing we define it as S4hana, and for workflow process we define it as S4hana underscore GW or any name you can define. Okay.
Yeah, Shahid, small question. We are
Yeah.
processing the request, and the request will also process the workflow. Then why we need the separate for workflow actually?
You can see why we need the separate workflow means you can also have a separate what we call it is instance. You can also have in this scenario we have only one instance, but we can maintain a separate instance, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Basis point of view, we can have a
Okay.
separate instance. One
Yeah.
instance is for general processing and one instance is for separate one. But
Okay.
simple concept. Okay?
Okay.
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 And then we also need to define we also need to define that it is for local apps. Okay, for all the local apps, and then save. Okay, that is successfully saved. So we define three system aliases. One is the default one, which is a local gateway. Okay, this is for a local gateway, and it is by default get created. Okay, and then we also need to define the system alias for workflow. So let's define. Workflow plus. Okay, and RFC destination is what? None, because it is a local one. Okay, and then coming to the software version, it should be business. Okay, and then we also need to select this for local app, and it is also going to be used as the local gateway. Right, both are going to be used as local gateway. Let's save this. It is successfully saved now. Okay, so these are what the system aliases we define for front-end server and for back-end server. You can have a screenshot of this. It is already added here. Okay. So what we have done, we have activated gateway in the front-end server, and then we maintain system aliases for front-end server and back-end server, and then the next one is gateway alias. We also need to have gateway alias. A gateway alias is needed to have at least one entry for SAP Gateway Hub in the service building to register OData services that we are going to develop. So what is the need of defining SAP Gateway alias? When developers create or develop new objects for your backend system using OData service. What is OData service that we will discuss now in a few minutes. Okay. So in that case, we must define SAP Gateway alias. Where it is used for the development purpose. And how you are going to create the development object, you are going to create the development object in the front-end server for the back-end rules, okay, for the back-end applications. So in that, we also need to define SAP gateway alias. This is what Fury Landscape. It's a created dispatcher, and this is the backend server, and this is the front-end server. This is what development on hub. When it is hub deployment, you will have a separate front-end server, and in the embedded deployment, you will have a front-end server embedded into the backend server. So coming to system gateway alias, we need to define the gateway alias in the backend system and in the front-end system as well. So let's define the gateway alias in the front-end system first, and then we will define it in the back-end system. It's with the NetWeaver, and then we have SAP Gateway. connection setting to SAP gateway.
Shahid, actually, what is SAP Gateway? Is it a component or?
It's a component. SAP gateway is what? It is the component for the communication between front end and system. Simple concept.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Gateway is a mandatory component for front end system.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
thank you, Shahid.
And coming to SAP gateway, gateway is what? It's a default component since SAP NetWeaver 7.4 version. If you have legacy applications, you need to install SAP Gateway separately. And from 7.4, SAP NetWeaver 7.4, you get Gateway as the default component, even in the backend system or even in the front-end system. Any of the backend or front-end system, by default, you get the Gateway component. Okay. So now no entries defined here for the gateway alias. I'm defining it as front-end server and destination system client. Okay. RF destination one because it is going to be a local one. The same system, we are pointing to the same system. So I'm defining the RF destination as well. Okay. So this is the gateway alias we are defining in the front-end system. It will ask you to create it here. I'm continuing with the existing here. Okay. Just hold for a moment, please.
कौन सा
Okay.
अच्छा ओके
So we define the gateway alias here in the front-end system, and now the same activity need to be performed in the backend system too. Let's log into the backend system.
The client is 500, right?
Yeah, 500.
In the configuration, in the 100 as it like.
See here, coming to our sessions, we are going to use 500 client in the front-end system as the front-end system, and coming to the backend, we have only one client that is 100. Now I'm going to log into the backend system. Backend system. Just wait for a moment. The system is down. Okay, please let me check.
And the system is we always down only.
Which one? S4? No, no, it is not down. I checked yesterday. It was working fine. Just let me check what's the issue we have. Yeah, it is down. I'll start now. It takes 25 minutes. Full activities. It's a little bit time to stop. Just wait.
As we have a lot of background noise, so I think somebody did not mute.
Let me please mute your mic. Okay, it's pandemic now. Okay, we just let's see the status. Oh, now system should work. Let's see. Okay. So this is our backend system. It's PRO. So what we are defining now, we are defining the gateway alias. We define it in the front-end system, and now we are defining it in the back-end system. SAP NetWeaver, SAP Gateway Service Enablement, and then connection to SAP Gateway Settings. Okay, so let me remove the existing one. Okay. Okay. Save it first. Okay. Now I'm creating a new gateway alias for the front-end system. Destination system, and the client is 500, and we also define RFC destination for the backend system. And now let's do that. Yeah, please. So what is our RFC destination for front-end system? I just need to check. This is the one. Okay. Fiori front-end server 500. Let's select this and then save. So it means by this what backend system knows that this is the front-end system where I need to respond. Got it. This is the front-end system for SAP Gateway, SAP Gateway front-end system where I need to respond. So just save this. Okay. This date. So for this, what we have to do is we also need to define the OData service in the backend system. Let's see that. Again, what we have done as of now, we have established trusted RFC communication between front-end and back-end system, and then we maintain the system alias in the front-end system, that is S4H and S4H underscore PGW for workflow processing. Two system aliases we have defined for the back-end system, and two system aliases for the front-end system. One is the local one, the other one is for workflow process. Then we have defined gateway alias in both the systems, front-end system and the back-end system. In the front-end system, it is local, and in the back-end system, we just need to define the RFC destination of the front-end system. Okay, system gateway alias. And why it is required when you're developing the objects for the back-end system for the applications, SAP user interface 5 applications, then you need to have SAP gateway alias defined in the front end and the back end system. Okay. And this we have completed. And then OData service. What is OData service? OData stands for Open Data Protocol. As a technical architect, you are requested to allow the use of SAP Fiori apps in your landscape, and one of the essential components in SAP Gateway to provide OData services. So OData service is what? It's a protocol. It's a protocol defined by the SAP using SAP User Interface 5 technology and exchanging data between multiple different server systems and end user items needs a standardized exchange infrastructure. And one of the possible solution is the open data protocol. So this is what the communication channel for your SAP Fiori apps from front-end server to the back-end system. And you will also have the services for OData, which is required for SAP UI5 applications. So you also need to define the, you have to register OData service in the backend system so that the development can take place in the front-end system. So depending upon the OData service, you have to, perform development activities. You need to define, you need to register OData service in the backend system. Got it. Again, this is for the development purpose. Okay. So this is the step need to be performed in the backend system. And we have, the transaction code that is HGGW that need to be performed in the backend application. Okay. Service maintenance, and here it is already defined. You can just double click on it so that you can find the status. Got it. So it is already defined. The reason for this to be defined is I already defined it for the other, you know, clients. For other clients, I have registered this service. That is, this is the service name which I have registered, and this is the basic service required for the developers. Okay, you can also, define by clicking on create project, and then you can define the required service. So you'll find all that OData projects and its objects available here. So I just define it, and it is now showing the same one. And what is got changed is this one got changed. Earlier it was front-end server 900 as we define the gateway alias as front-end server now. Okay, so it got now changed front-end server client, and this is the RFC destination, purely front-end server. Got it?
Sir, can you show us again
Yeah, please.
a project?
Sorry?
How to create this project here? What details we need to enter?
See,
what object
what
we need to
you, this is what GW sample underscore basic. This is the basic OData objects, and later depends on the requirement you can define it here. Got it? If you just search here, you will find all the OData related projects.
how many we need to define for us?
Yeah, how many we need to define? No, not one. So that's what. It again depends on the requirement for the developers. So whatever they ask you to define, based on that information, we are going to define those, OData projects here, so that they can perform development activities in the front-end system. Got it. Now they can access this project objects from the front-end system. Got it.
Yeah, Shahid,
Yeah, please.
if you compare with the ECC network, So how we
Mhm.
can differentiate the O2 data service?
For ECC.
Yeah, if you compare with ECC and the
ECC,
Fury.
you will have, see, you will have almost this, not almost same, but 90% of the objects you will have the same for ECC too. If you even go to, let me just check the ECC system which is now available. I'll just show you the ECC system. And for ECC2, I have configured this SAP Fiori apps. Let me check. Okay. Got it. You'll find almost the very, similar objects, whatever you have for S4 too.
Okay.
And again, all this information you get uh, by the component installation. So you also need to check the component, whatever the component we install for Fury apps in the backend system. Based on that, you get that information. And coming to here, we have a few Fury apps available. Uh, this is the Fury app, UI for ERP central application, UI for HCM applications, UI for travel application, and then UI for ERP. Then we have GRCPA ERP. These are the components, and based on these components you get the information here. Whatever the components you install in the backend system for Fury applications, you get that information here. Got it.
Right. Who build these OData services, right? It's
Developers,
developers, right?
Fury developers. Okay. Okay.
It's not developers, right? It's Java
It's not.
developers.
Uh, it will, I cannot say it's not ABAP developers. So it is, the development activities which again need to be performed by the developers. So obviously those who are having, expertise in ABAP programming, they come to the Fury development too.
Right, right, right.
Okay, okay.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Then the next one we have is configuration, configuring the SAP Fury Launchpad. So to configure SAP Fury Launchpad, we have a number of configuration steps to be performed, which I'll be showing you now. Okay. The Launchpad and Launchpad designer need a reverse proxy to direct the browser request to either front-end system in which the JavaScript sources are stored or to the SAP gateway system in which OData services are located. So there are the relevant OData services for SAP Fury Launchpad and SAP Fury Launchpad Designer. So these are the OData services need to be activated in the front-end system for SAP Fury Launchpad and SAP Fury Launchpad Designer. Okay, so we have transaction code to activate all these services. IWFND main underscore service is the transaction code for activating OData services. So these are what your data services, and for Fury Launchpad and Launchpad Designer to work, we need to activate these OData services. Page underscore builder conf, page underscore builder first, page underscore builder first, and then transport, and then interrupt. These are the services we need to activate. Okay. And to activate these services, so what you need to do is you need to click on add services. Okay. And then you have to select the system alias. Okay. So what you need to do is just click on get services. Okay, sorry, we are in ECC. Yeah, we are in ECC system. Sorry. So it won't be available in the ECC system. But we'll have this is our front-end server. Okay. Okay. Add services, then system alias. What is our system? Our system is local, coming to the front-end system. And we also need to activate the back-end system OData services, which we'll discuss later. Just click on local and then get services. You will find all the OData services of your front-end system here. Okay. So what we need to do now, we need to activate these OData services: page builder first, page builder first, transport, and intro. Let's see. Okay. So here we have all all the OData services, and when you activate any of the OData services, what generally gets happen is, okay, so it gets activated with custom name. So Z letter will be added by default, and then you need to define the package. Okay, if you have a system landscape and where you have transport from development to quality and then production system, then you need to define the package so that you can transport these objects. See here, it now gets created with this Z letter. Okay, I'm defining it as local object. It is not required now. Coming to other services, whatever the services are available here, these are already got activated. Okay, and continue. Okay, we have some issue only for this particular service, so you can leave it, but the naming convention would be customized name, and it starts with Z letter once you activate this. So I have already activated those 5 OData services, which you can now find here. See here, this is the first one. Select this, then you will find you need to define the backend system for this particular service. Z page builder font. Okay, then we have Z page builder first. There is no system SAP backend system assigned for this service, which now need to be assigned. Okay, first, and then page builder, and then we also have transport. Okay, and then we also need to have one more service. It's interrupt. Let me check where it is. This is the one. Okay. So now, what I do is I'll define the system aliases for these services. Okay. I'll define the system aliases for these services. let's select the first one. Okay, and here you can define the system alias. Continue. New entries. And what is our service? This is the service. Okay, and here I'm going to define the SAP system alias. Okay, so what is our backend system? And our backend system is SAP S4hana. Okay, S4hana. Just hold for a moment. Let me check the other clients. Just hold for a moment, please. Okay. So, so we have multiple. We have number of clients. There is some, issue with having these many clients. So better not to create new clients. You can just change the same client and then coming to Fury apps. You can implement any of the Fury apps in the same client. That's my suggestion for all the participants. Having too many clients, will have lots of issues. So what now I'm going to define is, so these are the services required for the Fury Launchpad. And these are the services need to be activated for the local gateway, not for the backend system. So I'm just defining here as local. Okay, local. And now say continue. Okay, and you will find the system alias. This has to be defined as local for all these 5 services. Let's see. Okay. So everything is fine, and you can also test, and you also need to activate, the ICF service for this OData. I can show you that now. It is already active. Okay, you can also activate from here. The ICF node. Got it. This is the one which need to be activated. OData service will also have, node in SICF. Okay, so that also need to be activated, and it is already active. As I did, uh, I activated all these services for other clients and for other clients. Okay, so now we define the system alias for this G page builder conf, and then the next OData service is G page builder course, and now let's define it. And before that, you can also check whether it is working fine. Just select this and then click on call browser. Allow. Mm, To test this, you can use this option call browser, and if you have any issues, then you will find the errors here. So this XML file does not appear to have any style information associated with it, and the documentation tree is shown below. This is what it means. It's working fine. If it is not working, then you will find some errors here. Okay, so it's working fine. Okay, and then the next service, page builder cost. New entries. page builder cost, and then defining system alias, local, define it as default system, save now, it will ask you to create a TR, I'm continuing with the existing TR, it's fine now, is activated, and this system, this is local system alias. Activate, deactivate, delete, configure. So here you can find this and also test whether this OData service is working fine. Just click on call browser so that you get the information. And if there is anything wrong, then you will find that error information here. It means by this message you can say that it's working fine. And then we have purse, page builder, personalization level, add system alias, new entries, this is the one, and then defining system alias, local, select it as default system, save now, continue, and now let's see. Okay, so active check. Is there any issue with this service? Everything is fine, and then we have activated 3 now transport and interrupt. This is the transport. No system alias defined. System alias must be defined. Then only the Fiori Launchpad and Launchpad Designer work fine. Save. And then finally we have one more service, that is interrupt, that need to be checked. Let's see where it is. Okay, this is the one. Okay, now system alias defined for this service. New entry. Yeah, please.
All these activities are performed by basis guys or security?
No, when it comes to basis, it depends. Sometimes even the security guys have to take care of everything from scratch. Just they will install, they'll install the required components for Fiori, and then you need to configure it.
Yeah, Shahid, this is Amit here. I have one doubt actually. So you are maintaining these services, okay? But if we are going to find IWFND error logs, if we used to get the other services, then we have to add the services and activate. And every time we will use the local system.
No, not local system. These are the services, OData services required for Fiori. Sorry. So these are the OData services required for Fiori Launchpad and Fiori Launchpad Designer. So where these Fiori Launchpad and Launchpad Designer are executed are available, these are available in the front-end system. So the system alias is local. I'll also show you how we can define the system alias for the back-end system.
So if you are getting an error, for the user, so it will not default for local. It can be from backend also. What actually? How we will distinguish this one actually? What settings we have to define?
Sorry?
If you are getting any, if you are getting any, so it will be for backend alias or for front-end alias. How we can distinguish? Suppose from IFW, that is error analysis. In that we are going to troubleshoot the user. We got this application service. you got this application service is missing. So how we can add this one for front end or for back end? What settings we have to adopt?
For backend system, these are the OData services required only for Fiori Launchpad and Fiori Launchpad Designer. And coming to other OData services we use, those are the services required for the backend system. All the other OData services. When it comes to the Fiori apps, we have Fiori apps where we have to also activate OData services, and those will be the OData services for the backend system. Got it?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Just show us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Anyhow, that is a part of our training that we will see. Okay. So it is now saved, and we just have defined the system alias for all the 5 OData services required for Fiori Launchpad and Fiori Launchpad Designer. And all are working fine, active. Okay, you can also check whether these OData services are working fine. So everything is fine, and then these are the OData services required for Fiori and Fiori Launchpad. Okay. And then we also have other CF services which are required for Fiori Launchpad and Launchpad Designer that will activate after a few minutes. Let's have a break for 5 to 10 minutes and then we'll continue our session. Okay? I'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay? I'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you. Will we continue our session? Hope you all are back.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we have done as of now is we activated gateway, and then we define system alias for the front-end server and for the back-end server, and then we also define gateway alias in the front-end server and in the back-end system too, and then we activated OData services required for Fiori Launchpad and Fiori Launchpad Designer. And then we also need to activate the associate services for Fiori, Launchpad, and Launchpad Designer. Let's activate all these services. We'll complete all these configurations today. Okay. And coming to the configurations, as Arun asked me whether we have to do it or the basis team have to do it. So whoever did this configuration, we must have complete understanding of the configuration, so that if we get any issue, we can troubleshoot. Got it, Arun?
Yes, sir.
When you can troubleshoot an issue, when you know the configurations well. If you have even a small mistake in the configuration, the entire system does not work. Okay. By default, these services are not active, and I'm going to activate this, but now it is already activated. The reason is we have activated these services in other clients, and these are the cross-client objects. If you activate one service in one client, it will be available for other clients too. Already activated. Okay. Is also activated. Just checking what services are activated. If it is not activated, then we need to activate all these services. You can also test these services. Okay. Last week, provide username and password. Activated.
Right.
Yeah, please.
I think on the PC, if you right click, you can activate the whole tree, right? Instead of like doing one by one.
No, you cannot do that.
Just right click on the
You
PC.
cannot simply.
PC, right click.
No. BC will have, hundreds of subnodes. Coming to the BC, let me show you. You will have some thousands of nodes in BC. We'll have thousands of nodes in BC. Got it. You'll have not only one or two, hundreds of nodes you will have. Got it. You will have hundreds of nodes.
So Shahid, when we do when we work at home, we should follow your PPT with less
Yeah.
Do it right that way? Okay.
This is, the best one. Instead of having, video, you have to watch the complete video, which takes 1 to 2 hours. So you have all these steps defined with screenshots. I'll also add few more screenshots in the document, which will be helpful and which can also save time instead of watching the entire video. Okay?
So you will send this document today to everyone?
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. I'll send you.
There is no specific table, Shahid, or we can just see how many services we have to activate for people like that something.
No, not a specific table. It is not about specific table, but you will find this information in the document, what services you need to activate for Fury Launchpad.
Okay.
Okay? See, you can also find, a lot of notes. I can show you now. You will find UI5, UI5. Okay? Right click, activate. Then UI2, and then these are the, services we activated. You should. Okay, then we have UI2. Public VC UI2. It's already activated. Okay. Then we have UI5, UI5. Let me just deactivate and then I'll activate. Activate. Yes. So the subnodes will also get activated.
Yeah, it will not ask any transport request, Shahid, when we will activate or deactivate something like that. It will not ask any TR, right?
No, it won't. Then we have Fury Launchpad, SCCF service. This is the one we need to deactivate. This is your Fury Launchpad. We'll see this. Okay. And then you do app index. This is the one which is already activated. And then finally we have IDEP, BC IDEP. service. As we discussed that these are the OData services required for Fiori Launchpad and Launchpad Designer. So you must add these services. You must add these, access key for the users so that they can access, Fiori Launchpad and Fiori Launchpad Designer. For all the services, you get a hash key for all the OData services. And these are the hash keys. Using these hash keys, we provide access for OData services. Okay.
So like ABAPer only, they will need like this. Their transaction will be stopped after providing.
Not ABAPer. Any user who uses these OData services, coming to Fiori apps, you will also have number of OData services for each and every Fiori app. Okay. So you need to provide this hash key so that the user can access. Okay. We'll see
It's
what
only
we can do.
Once only, one time only required, or
One time required.
one time?
Now let's discuss about the default roles, standard roles for SAP Fiori application. We have two standard roles for SAP Fiori application. One is admin role and the other one is end user role. So let's see what we have in the admin role.
Shahid, we only need these two roles to do Fiori development, that's it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. But again, whatever the app you're trying to access, or whatever the OData required, that again you need to provide access, that we will discuss. So at the moment, we have these are the standard rules provided for Fiori administrator and Fiori end user. And coming to these roles, see, we have SAP UI2 admin 700. This is for the release of 7.0 NetWeaver. This is for NetWeaver 7.2. This is for NetWeaver 7.3. And this is the role for NetWeaver 7.5. And our system is 7.5. And for SAP S4hana, you must have front-end server with SAP NetWeaver 7.5 or above. Okay, so this is the role now required. So what we do, generally we don't use the standard role, so better you copy the standard role to the customized one. Okay, copy all. Okay, and before that I also need to check what roles this user has. Remove if this user has already these roles. Okay. So user does not have these roles. Okay. So what I do now is,
Shahid,
sorry?
look into the profile, maybe Sapal.
No, so even though you have SAP-AL, you need to provide these services separately. OData authorizations you need to provide separately. Okay, so this is the role we have. Now let's see what content we have in this role. So these are the content we have in this role, but along with these contents, we also need to add the OData authorizations in this standard role. We cannot directly use this standard role, so we must add OData authorizations in this standard role. Okay. So we have Fiori Launchpad, Content Manager, Mass Maintenance for App Descriptor, then Retrieve Catalogs, retrieve App Descriptor by Catalogs, then UI Get, all descriptors, remote, Fiori Launchpad Custom Settings, Fiori Launchpad System Settings. Now, authorization default. Here we use TADIR service, and then the object type is what? IWSG, SAP gateway service metadata. And now we just need to add the hash key for the OData authorization. So what OData services we have activated for Fiori Launchpad and Launchpad Designer? These are the services we have activated. Right now we need to provide the authorization for these services. And when you activate OData services, then you will find that information here. Let's see. This is the one, interrupt, and then page builder, conf, cust, personalization, and then we also need to add one file services, transport, conf, cost, personalization, and then interrupt. These are 5 OData authorizations required for admin user. Okay. And this will be part of yes underscore yes service authorization object that I'll be showing you now. Before we add it, let's see what authorization objects we have. Okay. So these are the authorization objects we have, but we don't have yes underscore service. Yes underscore service is the authorization object by which we provide the OData authorizations to the users. I don't find anything here as underscore service after we assign OData authorizations that will be available in yes underscore service authorization object.
So Shahid, the OData lets you do Fiori, right? That is a must mandatory for Fiori, correct?
Yes. Okay. Interrupt. And then we have 576. Transport. Okay. Now copy all these 5 services. Okay. Added here. Authorizations. Change authorization data. Yes. And now, let's see. This is the one. But here you can find. Okay. These are the hash keys for these OData services, OData objects.
What is
But
hash?
hash key is what? That is the authorization. You can call it as authorization for accessing these particular objects. Got it. Okay. And coming to other authorization object, I'm assigning full authorizations.
Shahid, this hash key is for only developers or it's end users also?
You also need to provide authorization for the end user, right? For
Right.
accessing the application. Okay.
Right.
You need to provide it for the end user too. I'll show you now the end user role. Okay. Save. Generate. Okay. And now I'm assigning this role
Shahid, one
to
question.
user Shahid.
What does this role do? What exactly would this role do? Just out of curiosity.
This role will provide all the admin authorization for administrating Fiori apps. Okay. I'll also show you end user role. Let's perform user comparison, complete comparison. So we have successfully assigned UI5 admin role to user Shahid. And now let's see end user role.
Shahid, one question. So if I assign this role to myself, that means I can develop all tiles and everything, correct?
Yes, everything you can perform all the
That's all the
administrative
authorization
activities.
you need, right? You do not
Yes.
need SAP all.
Yes.
You do not need SAP all, correct?
No, not at all required. Why do we assign SAP underscore all? We never assign SAP underscore all to any user.
Okay.
Okay. Now next role we have is UI and user role.
So when you say end user, it is a functional consultant, right?
Yes. So this is the version we have SAP UI2 user 750 and our NetView version is 7.5x. Okay. Let's copy this. Copy all in operations menu. And by default, we get, these two authorizations. Along with this, we also need to assign uh, two more authorizations for the end user, that is interrupt and page builder personalization. Okay, these are the two authorizations required for the end user. Let's add these two authorizations. Operations. Got it. Now these are the authorizations you have. Okay. Save, generate. Now let's assign this role to user comparison, complete comparison. Okay. So what we did, we have assigned admin role to user and end user role. So all the end users will get this role. Along with this role, the end users also need to have a specific app authorization. That we will see how we can assign a particular app authorization to the end users. Okay. So any doubts here?
Yeah,
Shai,
Shahid,
Yeah, please.
can we talk more about authorization SNSO services? Like, what exactly it is used and how and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I'll be explaining about yes underscore service authorization update and all the services in more detail in our next session. Don't worry.
yeah, Shahid, one
Okay?
question.
Yeah,
You have
please.
you have assigned the data service Z transport to the administrator, but for the end user you have not assigned the Z transport. Anyhow, we have to assign the RFC role to both administrator and the user also.
All the users will have RFC roles. All the users must have, can you please mute your mic? I can hear a lot of background noise.
Not from my side.
All end users must have, RFC role. That we will see how we can assign what exact authorizations required for every end user when we implement a particular app. Then I'll be explaining about what exact authorization is required for all the end users. Okay.
Yeah. But why
Yes,
we
we are
require this,
performing the configurations. Yeah, please.
why we require this Z transport to administrator? If we are assigning the RFC also, then
Why we need?
Z transport this O data. If you are assigning the RFC role also, then the RFC will work for the administrator. Then why this Z transport is required actually?
So RFC is what? Why we are using RFC to communicate with the backend system.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
we are
Okay.
using transport? Transport we are using to transport all these configurations, customizing activities, development activities to be transported to the next system in the landscape.
Okay. For migration. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, that we will discuss in more detail.
Yeah, this,
Okay.
yeah, I think his question was
Yeah.
end user need the transport. Okay.
Shahid, there's too much
Manpreet,
background
can you
noise.
please mute your mic?
Oh,
Yeah,
nobody can.
please. I can hear a lot
My
of
mic is.
background noise. Yeah, please go ahead, Jia.
Yeah, what I was saying is end user does not need the transport object, correct? Because they don't need anything to transport. They just need access to
End
the.
user don't perform the transporting activities. Only the administrators and developers need to have transport authorization. So end user is what? Whatever the authorization we provide to the end user, based on that, he performs the business activities. He does not need to transport or customizing any object or developing any object, right? So in that case, why do we need to assign transport authorization for the end user? Got it. It is not required. For the end user, transport operation is not at all required. Okay. Yeah, please.
Shahid, hello?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shahid, what is the purpose of war data here? Why you are using like typically war data for communicating
Core
between?
data is what? Okay. We already discussed about core data. Whatever, the objects are developed using SAP User 5 technology. Now, all the Fiori apps are built using SAP User 5 technology. It is HTML5. It is HTML5, technology for SAP User Interface 5. Using this technology, you know, you develop the OData objects. When you have to access a particular application, all these applications are based on the OData objects and OData objects, right? So to access that, you must have the OData authorization, right? When it comes to transaction code, what we do for accessing a particular transaction code, you need to have the authorization of the transaction code. When it comes to accessing a particular BW report, you need to have that report authorization, which will not be again in the form of transaction code. The same way when it comes to SAP Fiori applications, all the Fiori applications are based on OData. So you must provide OData authorization to access that Fiori app. Any Fiori app you take. Got it, Asif?
Thank you.
Okay. Then we also have, SICF services. So it is what activate cache buster. So by activating this, what happens generally, when you access a particular application, that application will be available in cache. Okay. For example, I'm accessing a particular application, and it is accessed. When it is accessed for the first time, the data will be available in browser cache. Okay. And every time we try to access that particular app or a particular object, that will be directly accessed from cache, right? But when you perform some of the upgradations or updates for a particular app, for the particular, for the particular objects, that cache also has to be updated. Understood? The cache has to be updated, and to do that, what you need to do, you don't need to manually update to activate this SICF series. So the cache will be always updated whenever you perform the updates for a particular component. That's it. That's the concept. And this we have already activated. But let me show you once again. It is already. See here, the description is what? SAP Fiori Launchpad with dynamic page processing supports cache busting. So this need to be always activated. This need to be in active status so that the cache of the browser gets automatically updated whenever you perform any of the update activity for Fiori apps. Got it? Okay. And then, so this is what the URL
And
to access SAP Fiori app. Yeah, please.
so this is me. Yeah. In my previous project, we had a lot of time when we went for was making changes to the app or user. Every time
Sorry,
we used
your
to
voice
ask,
is not clear.
yeah,
Yeah.
we needed to ask user to clear the cache manually. So
Mhm.
this was not added to his profile. That's the reason they had to clear cache manually every time any changes was done to the user.
Mhm. No, not. I'm not getting your voice clearly. Can you please come again?
So
Sorry.
question is, uh, anytime when there was change to the user profile when on Fury side
Uh-huh.
to the app, we used to ask the user to refresh his cache, his or her cache
Okay. Okay. Manually.
manually. So is that the reason that this was not added to that user?
No, it is not about a particular user. This will be applicable for all the users when you activate this service. Got it? All the users don't need to do any of the configuration activities, or they don't need to, manually update. If this service is activated, then automatically it will take care of, because how user access, this SAP Fiori app, the user access Fiori app from this URL. So it will be applicable for all the users. She does not need to, manually update cache.
Okay, got it.
Got it, Zia.
Yep.
Okay, okay. So these are the URLs available to access Fiori Launchpad. Okay, let's see how we can access. I can directly use this. Okay,
Shahid,
yeah, please.
uh, in Fury, well, in the role design, can we make any customized roles like?
100, yes, yes, we do make a lot of customizing rules.
Okay. And I believe we still follow the same old tradition like single composite and derived roles, right? Can we do that?
Single composite derived, yeah, it can be done.
Okay.
That's the basic concept. If you are maintaining, if for example you need, there are multiple single roles available, so you can create a composite role. Nothing will be happening. You can also create a derived role. Okay,
So
but you
this
can do
was
it. And coming to customizing, yeah, you can perform, a lot of customizings. Okay, when it comes to a standard role for SAP S4hana, that standard role will have, number of accesses. So you need to disable those accesses and you can customize that role as per the requirement. Yeah, please.
Exactly. Right. And one more thing, Shahid, with in S4, why is that the look and feel of authorization tab is different?
Not only the authorization tab, almost all the screens got, updated for S4. Not only for authorizations, all the screens got updated. The layout, the look and feel of the screens are, updated in S4.
Okay.
Shahid, is
Yes.
there any
Yeah.
is there any table to see the OData services which are available in the system?
Yeah. Yes. We have table. I'll be, showing you all the tables for the authorizations of OData and for the S4 HANA as well. The required tables for S4hana application that I'll be showing you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So now let's,
the
yeah,
original,
please.
this is the original question about the roles. I think that was
Mhm.
asked to in reference to Fury system, not S4HANA. S4HANA, yes,
Yeah, theory.
I know that. Yeah. So does it apply to Fury too? Can we create multiple roles, customized roles, and composite roles
Yeah.
inside the Fury?
Yes. Yes, yes, we can.
Okay.
I'll be showing you that
Yeah.
in detail. Done. Okay.
Okay.
So now, this is what the URL. Host name, this is what fully qualified domain name, and this is your port for HTTPS, SAP BC UI to Fury Launchpad. You can also customize this URL. You can make a small URL for the end users. Okay, that I'll show you. So the user is already logged in. Let me log off. Okay, log off. And now let me log in. So this is what the URL to access your SAP Fiori Launchpad. You can use any of these three URLs, index.html or even Fiori Launchpad.html. These are the URLs you can use to access Fiori Launchpad. Okay, and then we cannot directly access Fiori Launchpad without performing these configurations. As I already performed configurations for other clients, so it is also working for these clients. So now I'll be showing you how we can configure Fiori login screen. Okay. Now let's take this SCCH service.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm doing that. Yes, 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 sir. Hmm.
Execute.
Sorry, Shahid, which T code you
You
executed?
shall. No, SCCFT.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Okay. I just directly access this, path.
Okay. Correct. Hmm.
So this is what usual where you configure Fury logon.
Hmm. Right.
So here we have a tab called About Page, and then we have
Hmm. Hmm.
System Configuration, System Logon Configuration. It is in display mode. Just click on Change. Okay, Configuration.
Because
So coming to the configuration, what we need to define is, it is already defined. So that's the reason we are able to access Fury Launchpad.
so in that process, basically we have the limit.
So you need to define this custom implementation ABAP class, and this is the ABAP class UI2 CL underscore SRA underscore login.
So
And along with this, you can also define the client.
for this particular
Okay.
regulation,
So the reason for not defining the client is we have, multiple clients which we are using for testing purpose. For example, if I define a particular client here, then login will only be used for this particular client. Got it? So I'm not defining any client here. If you define a client, so every time you access SAP Fury Launchpad, it will be redirected to 500 client. So now we
So,
have
Sai,
number of clients. Yeah, please.
in
Can you
real
explain
time
that again?
in production, like how much, how will that, which number would that be, like in the production ECC or?
Production client.
Okay.
production
Yeah.
client, not ECC. Why do we define the ECC client here? Because we are accessing Fiori Launchpad from the front-end server, not from the back-end server. So this will be the front-end server client. Got it.
Yeah.
This will be the front-end server. So we have, yeah, please.
Front-end server client, right?
Yeah, front-end server client. Because Fiori Launchpad is available in the front-end server, so we don't define any back-end server details. We just define only the front-end server client. So I'm not defining anything. So when I don't define it here, what generally happens? Okay. So what generally happens? From any client, you can access Fiori Launchpad if you have performed Fiori configuration. Now I can see here when I click on this test services, it will take you to this URL where it directly gets to the 500. Understood? Where it directly takes to the 500. For example, if I have to perform, if I have to log into some other client, here now I'm able to log into the client 300. If I define a client there, then it will take me to only that particular client. Now I can use Theory for multiple clients, which we don't do in live environment. Okay. For the training purpose, I haven't defined so that everyone can, configure the theory configuration in different clients. Okay. So that's the thing, and then we have the next one we have is log off. This log off is also very important. Generally, what happens is, okay, what happens is when I log off Fury, it has to redirect it to the login screen, right? Now I can see whenever I'm trying to log off, so whenever I'm trying to sign out, what's happening here? It is redirecting to the login screen. This also has to be configured. If you don't configure this, what happens? You will get an error. Okay, we'll see that how we can configure log off screen, execute, execute, basic, and then
Shahid, a
okay,
question.
this is yeah, please.
Whatever you are showing, security consultants supposed to do all this, or the basic people do all this?
See, this again depends, depends on the project. So coming to the basis guys, what they generally do is they install the components and then they hand over the system to you. So then you obviously have to perform it when it comes to the general implementation projects.
So the
So, but
statement, so the
Yeah,
statement configuration and validation is what security people will have to do.
you have to do,
yeah. 90% client security people are doing Shahid actually. Came to know.
yeah, yeah. Depends, depends. Sometimes, even sometimes this complete security has to be done by the basis team. Now we have one guy who is implementing S4 Fury. He's a basis guy. He's doing all this configuration. Though he's a basis guy, he is doing everything for the security now. Yes, he's available. Ishwar.
Shahid, you're covering both for the basis and the security in this class, correct?
It is completely end-to-end implementation. I'm showing you everything from the beginning.
Okay.
I haven't taken any configured system. We are only configuring the system and then we perform the other activities. Once the configuration is done. Okay. Okay. So this is what log off screen I'm defining. I'll first remove all this and then I'll show you what error we get. This is the one. Okay. Log off.
these are purely the configuration things.
Server page, log off page. This I have
Which
defined.
shows a
What is this? This is what? The login URL.
10% variance.
By default, it is not defined.
Or 10%
When it is not defined, then you will get the error.
admissible. So like that. So
Copy this. What we are defining? When a user logs off, it has to be redirected to this URL.
Let's say you have
Okay.
system in the system.
Rename this, and then you will see what issue we get.
But the client is saying
Shahid, please increase slide sound from your system.
business changes have been made, and now the policy says
Sorry.
this offer delivery tolerance system
Please increase your volume actually from your system. System actually.
Okay.
from 5 to 10. Okay.
So let me just remove this and we'll see what happens.
Owner's responsibility to get it.
It won't be there by default.
Okay, so this, no. Yeah, basically manual means
Okay, this request belongs to some other client.
remediation plan actually
We try this.
with the TR approach and
GR.
changes and all. So that would be the manual. But the thing is, like you would have all the CD.
Let's see whether it accepts.
Everything. So that
Okay.
upload as evidences in the system.
So now it is saved.
As per the deficiency alert, we have
Okay, done.
and
It is now saved.
Latest.
So what I do now is,
Not reason.
let me access Fury.
Step would be involved in the remediation to fix the.
Okay. I access Fury Launchpad, and then we'll see how we can log off.
Yeah, so we have a variation. Yes, it will be highlighted. Irrespective of your frequency, it will be damaged. It is not.
Okay. Now it is asking for the login. Let me close the other tabs.
Yeah, we so frequency says doesn't it daily. So my
Let's log in now.
at whenever the configuration has been fixed, it will not report deficiency. But when the point is it is not fixed, it is maintained price balance maintained 5, but you are saying it should be 10.
Now let's log off.
It will keep reporting the deficiency as a 5. So even as control could be we are going ahead with the largest.
So we have a message,
Then
you have been logged off, but it is not redirecting to the login screen, right? So let's do that now.
But Shahid, how is that an error then? Goodbye, you're logged on. That's not an error.
No, it is not. It is not an error. Actually, it is by default defined it as logged off, but it is not redirecting to login screen. It has to redirect to the login screen, right?
So let's say
So
I'm the issue owner. Okay.
let's define that now.
The business process owner. I'm the one who will get the issue because this is my business area. If any kind of non-compliance are there, I should be get highlighted from the system, right? So I
Okay.
get the issue. Now,
Let's see it.
I have the responsibility for everything, right? But I am not going to the system data in the configuration. So I have to assign that activity or correction activity or in DC term it is remediation activity to someone from business.
Okay. Now error page.
Owner or who are the actual IT guys from the system point who actually look after this configuration.
Log off page. Click on change. It is in display mode. And now
From business case
let's define the URL.
remediation person will just the intent one from the issue. But the issue owner itself is responsible for
Okay. Now let's save it.
like small number of is the control owner, is the issue owner, the remediation person also.
It is now saved. Okay.
But I have seen that remediation owner is generated.
Error page. And then Okay, log of page. Okay, it is now defined. Let's see.
Wow.
What is our client?
Yeah.
500, right? So let me copy this.
Yeah.
500. Okay, now let's log in.
Stages of control rollout.
Okay, now let's see. Sign up. So it should now redirect to the login screen. Got it.
Right.
Now it is redirecting to the login screen. Okay, okay. So this is what the log screen, and then coming to URL, we can also customize the URL. So what is the URL we have? This is what the URL. HTTPS host name, port, and this is the one. So we can also configure a customized URL for Fury Launchpad. Let's see how we can do it.
That is manual test dot yeah. That is for the manual test.
Okay. Let's go to SSH here.
No, not actually.
Now, external aliases, system aliases. Okay. So what to do now is let's create a
Free of control.
system alias.
Both it
Okay.
perform the testing.
Any name you can provide.
And one is your manual. Okay.
Create.
The control testing, how the system or how you will do the testing.
Okay.
Now, before your audit happens,
Cancel this. Hold for a moment.
performing the system, that is a control design assessment, that's CDA. So basically, generally what happens, so let's say our audit is happening let's say every 6 months. Okay. So what we were doing in my earlier client, we were running the control
Default host, external aliases. Okay, let me define
asking to assess the
default host.
whether it is accepted, whether it is your still valid. But I'm saying the control design more than for the control definition point of view. What is the requirement of it, like that? And from the risk point of view, what is the risk that this control is going to address, and what is the objective of the overall control? So this is the thing that we assess during the control design assessment.
Create system external alias.
Still valid.
Now let's define that.
Whether your control is still addressing the same thing, like that.
So I can define this my Fury or any name I can define. Okay. And then
accurately designed. If they say yes, from the workflow point of view, it is they mark as adequate and pass, get this pass. So report this
Fury description
control owner has passed the control.
Custom Fury Launchpad.
Control master data part. Okay, so first quarter it has run, and second quarter also run, and let's say 6 months, after 6 months audit is happening. So what they
Okay. And then the target elements. Here what we need to do is we have to select the URL of Fury Launchpad. And what is that? Fury Launchpad. Here I can find that.
and what was the direction of that? The control owner has reported any kind of deficiency or any kind of alerts. Okay, from the
VC. Then we have UI2.
can give me automated monitor.
And this is the one. Just double click on it.
Any kind of non.
This target element gets automatically selected. Now save.
Whether it again
Okay.
appears in the next.
Now it is saved.
Again appear that means no action has been taken. So why it has not.
Okay, it is now saved.
Such kind of things they generally
This is the one we have created. Now test external alias. This is what the URL
because
we have. Custom URL. Got it.
Right? So if those has been highlighted in the report, they will check why it's not fixed, what was the reason, like that. So such kind of questions
Okay.
they ask.
So we have completed all the configurations for SAP Fiori, and then we still have many concepts for SAP Fiori. We will discuss about the Fiori types of Fiori applications available.
So
Then we'll see how we can build roles for different types of Fiori applications in our coming session. So any doubts here for today's session?
those
Shahid, we need this document actually. Just
Yeah, sure, definitely. I'll share this document with all the participants.
transactional controls.
Any doubts here?
Yeah, Shahid, regarding OData service, what is inside of OData service? In ECC, AWS, they create a customized program, right? So in the customized program, they maintain objects and authorizations. So in OData service also, they maintain imports, authorization objects like that, or how it works?
Just let me show you the OData service. Okay.
Different numbers like
This is the OData service. It will be also in the form of program.
for any indicators.
Got it. Gautam.
Yeah.
Please, can you come again? What's your question? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so, means what is inside of the OData service? Is there any T code? They mention T code or
No,
how
not
it?
T codes. Not OData service is what? All the objects for the applications, for the Fiori applications.
Whenever we are
Okay.
Got it. All the objects for the Fiori applications. How you, when it comes to the transaction code, as you said, like developers create, programs and all that. The same way, so the developers create the programs and they build the applications. Applications will have, some hundreds of objects, okay? And we are providing authorizations for those applications using OData authorizations. Got it.
Okay. So back end, there is no the activity. The functionality is same, right? Whenever user open the application, the same activity we perform in ECC. Same activity they can perform through Fiori apps, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the concept. But again, for performing the same activities, you also need to have number of components in the backend system. Along with that, you also need to activate the required services in the backend system for the front end server, and you also need to provide authorizations in the backend system too.
Okay.
Without providing those authorizations, the end user cannot perform the activities in the backend system using the front end server.
Right.
That we will see one by one. That we'll see.
yeah, Shahid, one doubt. Actually, earlier we have came to know that some objects are required. UIT S underscore PB underscore chip and UIT UI2 / chip. So these things are gone from 750. What actually?
No, still we have that. We'll see that.
Okay.
We'll see all the transaction codes, troubleshooting transaction codes, logs of each and every activity. We will see.
Okay.
Yes, we have completed the configurations for front-end server, and we'll see what we can do in our coming sessions. Okay. So shall I stop it here for today?
Shahid, one last.
Yeah, please.
Shahid, how do we troubleshoot if a user comes back to us saying that is not able to access the URL kind of a thing? So do we check with the cache or what exactly? How do we troubleshoot?
Coming to only you're talking about the URL.
Yeah, at this stage.
Coming to the URL, anyhow, you can also use SLG1 transaction code. You can find the logs of a particular user. And coming to URL, why user cannot access URL? Because when you define a URL, when you have performed all the configurations and when you define a particular URL, he will be definitely able to access, or he needs to, just update his cache in the browser. It must work for every user. So whether you need to check whether the required authorizations assigned to the user or not.
So in SLG1 we will get everything, right? From top to bottom, everything.
We'll get we'll get the logs that I'll be showing you how we can use SLG1 for all these audit authorizations.
Okay. But SU53 will not work here, Shahid, right? That's a different thing, apps error and all.
We'll see that. We'll see. We'll discuss all this. Don't worry.
Apart from this,
Okay. So shall I stop it here for today?
I will not come
Yeah. Thank you very much, Shahid. Yeah.
Okay then. So there is no session tomorrow. We'll meet again on next Saturday. Okay. So if you have anything, you can contact me.
but still, so I have two references of the client. One is Ashok Leyland where the things were failing, and one client where the things were working fine. So I can send these two references, and later on you can decide if that is falling in that acceptable criteria like that. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. They may ask about the valid memory section. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.